centuries of oppression and exclusion from the mainstream of education by the so-called upper caste. The Dravidian movement role in the struggle for reservation was well documented in the video that was displayed just now, so I do not want to risk repetition. However, I want to say that our Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, after donning the mantle as a leader of the oppression and exclusion, has left from the mainstream of education to by the so-called upper caste. In the Dravidian movement role in the struggle for reservation was well be aware of the historic decision of his government has been taking to ensure equality of opportunity, be it for Archagas in temple or for the transgender community. In fact, soon after forming government, our leader appointed a monitoring committee to ensure social justice in government, education, appointments, postings, etc. This is a first in the history of the independent India. Our Honorable Chief Minister has also announced that the first anniversary of Tandai Periyar will be celebrated as a day of social justice. Therefore, our leader and the party's commitment to ensuring social justice is unparalleled. It was quite shocking that the union government, in its keenness to implement needs, was steadfast in its determination to not grant OBC reservation in the state surrender seats to All India quota in medical and dental seats. Because of the stubborn attitude of the union government, OBC students were losing about 4,000 medical seats and 1,000 dental seats every year. When our leader, the Honorable Chief Minister, came to know about this colossal injustice, he immediately decided to fight for OBC reservation on three fronts: before the people, politically, within the parliament, democratically, and before the courts, legally. In fact, soon after my election to the Rajya Sabha in July 2019, under the direction of my leader, the Honorable Chief Minister, I had delivered my maiden speech in Rajya Sabha on 26/7/2019, calling the attention of the union government to grant OBC reservations in medical and dental courses. Under direction of our leader, a representation was then made to the then union ministers on 1/11/2019. Since the union government remained unmoved, our dynamic leader with a national vision, Mr. M.K. Stalin, made a demand calling for a white paper on OBC reservation in medical and dental education and why it was not granted. Thereafter, on 6/12/2019, yet again I raised the issue on the floor of the Rajya Sabha under the direction of our leader. DMK MPs through T.R. Balu and other DMK MPs brought pressure on the union government by periodically raising the issues in the Lok Sabha and in Rajya Sabha. On 6/1/2020, I met and followed up the minister with another representation dated 11/5/2020. Thereafter, 4 months elapsed and the union government did not act on our representation. Our leader, then the leader of opposition in Tamil Nadu, vociferously condemned the union government in May 2020 and demanded that the union government end the suffering of the OBC students in the upcoming academic year's medical admissions. However, the union government continued to turn a Nelson's eye and staunchly refused to implement the reservations. Therefore, with a view to decide further course of action, the DMK called for an all-party meeting on 31/5/2020 via video call to deliberate upon the further course of action. It was thereafter our leader took the firm decision to approach the courts and wage a legal battle. I was humbled that my leader entrusted this important task to me. The DMK was the first political party to file a public interest litigation before the Honorable Supreme Court seeking OBC reservations in the medical and dental courses. The union government vehemently contested the case after a legal battle and after coming back to the Madras High Court. On 27/7/2020, the Madras High Court passed an order holding that the reservation for OBC candidates is permissible and that there is no legal or a constitutional impediment to extend the reservation for OBC, and directed formation of a 4-member committee to provide the terms of the implementation of such reservation and to grant OBC reservation from the academic year 2021 onwards. What came across as an unpleasant surprise was that even after the 4-member committee formed to implement the reservation pursuant to the directions of Madras High Court, the NEET MDS bulletin that was released in November 2020 by union government did not provide OBC reservation. Then the DMK took further legal steps by issuing a contempt notice and also filed a contempt petition before the Madras High Court, stating that despite the order of a court, the union government was staunchly refusing to grant reservations. Only in the DMK contempt petition, the Honorable Madras High Court passed an order on 19/7/2021 directing the union government to indicate the mode and manner of the implementation of OBC reservations in the admissions to medical and dental courses. The High Court came down heavily on the union government and opined that they cannot proceed with the admissions without providing OBC reservations. Only thereafter, as a result of this legal battle waged over a year, the Union government issued a notification on 29/7/2021 to grant 27% reservations for OBC in the state contributed seats to All India quota in medical and dental courses. As a result, every year about 4,022 seats in medical courses and about 1,000 seats in dental courses will be available for OBC students throughout India. As against challenging this granting of reservations, some of the doctors filed a writ petition before the Supreme Court. Our leader asked me to go and file an impleading petition and argue on behalf of DMK. DMK filed an impleading petition and I argued the matter, and ultimately the court accepted our submissions. One of our main submissions before the Supreme Court was that mark alone is not a determining factor for the merit. That was accepted by the Supreme Court, and in historic judgment, the Supreme Court said the reservations dated 29/7/2021 is constitutional and it has to be implemented. I wholeheartedly thank my leader, Talaivar, the Honorable Chief Minister, for taking up this issue and standing firm till the reservation became a reality. I have no hesitation in admitting that if it were not for the Dravidian movement and the equality of opportunity brought by the DMK, I may not have had the opportunity to become a lawyer. Similarly, the present victory in obtaining reservation in medical and dental courses is one that will open career avenues to thousands of OBCs every year, and I'm sure each and every child that uses this opportunity will hold in his or her heart our leader, Thiru M.K. Stalin. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Dr. Hari Epinapalli, Chairman, Lead India Foundation, to deliver his address.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to address this timely national conference on taking forward the struggle for social justice and joint national program. Happy 73rd Republic Day. Warm welcome and greetings to our chief guest today, Honorable Thiru M.K. Stalin, Chief Minister, Government of Tamil Nadu, convener and organizer of this webinar, Honorable Justice V. Ishwaraya, Chairman, All India Backward Classes Federation, Sri Tejasvi Yadavji, Opposition Leader of Bihar, Honorable Member of Parliament, Mr. P. Wilson. Thank you so much for inviting me today, and also Lead India greetings to all the distinguished guest speakers and attendees of this historic conference. Friends, as you know, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar headed the drafting committee of the Constitution. In 1950, on this day, the Constitution of India came into existence and declared India as a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. The day also commemorates Indian citizens' power to choose their government democratically. The Constitution of India has solemnly promised to all its citizens social, economic, and political justice, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and opportunity, and to promote among all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity of the nation. The Constitution grants these privileges, but in reality, justice is not served to the marginalized and oppressed communities. Democracy is supposed to be by the people, of the people, and for the people. Today, as we celebrate 73rd Republic Day and also the 75th Independence Year, Azad Ka Amrit Mahotsav, only a small percentage of people, aristocracy and oligarchy is still ruling the nation. About 60% of the OBCs plus close to 30% of the SCs, STs and others, being the majority of a nation, are still far from ruling the country. To put an end to this social injustice, social reformers like Sant Ravidas, Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy, and many more leaders dedicated their lives for securing the social and economic and political justice. Friends, last time a caste-based census was conducted in 1931 by the British. Despite initial promises by the government, still no OBC category is included in the 2021 census. This data will enable us to demand for true representation in employment and elected officers from local panchayats to parliament. Recently, Supreme Court has shown the way by balancing the merit with equity in All India quota of NEET for medical students. Appreciate the diligent efforts of Honorable Chief Minister Thiru M.K. Stalin and Mr. P. Wilson, Member of Parliament and Senior Advocate, for pursuing this matter seriously and getting it done. This decision will benefit over 1,500 OBC medical students in MBBS and 2,500 OBC students in PG courses, in addition to their regular eligibility. Let me share some examples about the injustice in implementing the reservations in higher offices as well. According to the data compiled by the Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions, of the 89 secretaries in the central government, there are just 3 STs, 1 SC, and no OBCs. Of the 93 additional secretaries in various central ministries, just 6 are SCs and 5 are STs, while there are no OBCs of this rank. Among the 275 joint secretaries, 13 are SCs, 9 are STs, and only 19 belong to the OBC category, just 6.9% against the 27% reservation mandated by the government for these jobs for OBCs. In a recent shuffle of Union Cabinet that includes 27 ministers for OBC, 12 from SC and 8 from ST, as you can see with this, whether you call it electoral politics or something else, but the political parties are hearing our voices and trying to appease the OBCs. Friends, as I conclude my address, social justice means that everyone's human rights are respected and protected. Everyone has an equal opportunity to succeed. The principles of social justice depend on 4 essential things: human rights, access, participation, and equity. Social justice cannot be achieved without these 4 principles. As long as a nation values social justice and remains committed to equality, progress is possible. We have to go a long way to achieve true social justice to the oppressed and marginalized communities. Let's collaborate and work with synergistic organizations to achieve our goals. Let's not rest until we establish a majority-ruled government at the center. As we just celebrated on January 23rd, the 125th birth anniversary of a legendary freedom fighter, Subhash Chandra Bose, let me share his famous quote: "Freedom is not given, it's taken." Let me repeat: freedom is not given, it's taken. On this occasion, I wholeheartedly appreciate and congratulate Honorable Chief Minister Thiru M.K. Stalin for making every effort to protect the interest of OBCs and achieving the historic judgment from the Supreme Court for the medical students. I also appreciate Honorable Justice Ishwaraya for taking the lead to unite the OBC organizations nationwide under the All India Backward Classes Federation to fight for their rights. I sincerely request the Honorable Speakers of this national webinar to deliberate on the key issues of the OBCs and also inspire and activate the OBC cadre nationwide to achieve the long-awaited demands. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, Mr. Wilson, and I congratulate on your victory as well for arguing the case in Supreme Court. Please take care and stay safe from COVID-19. Happy Republic Day again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Mr. B.D. Borkar, the founder BAMSEF, to deliver his address.
Yeah. Bihar State and my distinguished speakers and the audience. Sir, with a short time of 5 minutes, I would like to make 4 or 5 points. If I'm not wrong, this webinar is invited for social justice. My point is, can there be a justice without equality? Can there be a justice without liberty? Even after 72 years of republic, which we are celebrating today, there are atrocities on the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, other backward classes, and molestation and rape of women. This is all due to the wretched Brahminical mindset prevailing in the society. The Constitution has cast upon the duty on the ruling class to destroy the Brahminical social order and establish a society based on liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice. This class of politicians who have ruled this country have miserably failed to achieve this goal. Second important thing I would like to mention is that the other backward classes are still not getting their due share in the educational institutions and the public employment after the promulgation of the Constitution. The Supreme Court went petition, throwing the ball to the government that to provide adequate representation to the OBCs, there should be a quantifiable data. The government at the center has refused to collect data through caste census and provide to the court on the ground that the caste will perpetuate. both the institutions on which the responsibility cast upon for throwing the ball in each other's court. Sum and substance is that the people heading these institutions are determined not to provide justice to the other backward classes on the principle of equality of opportunity in the public employment. I would like to request the honorable members of the parliament who are present here and sit in the most important institution, that is parliament, must make a fervent plea that the caste census must be made to provide justice not only to the OBCs but to every section of the society in proportion to their population. If they do not do it, it will be construed that our own members of parliament have failed to protect our interests for which they have been elected to the parliament. The third point which I wanted to make is coming to the interpretation of the Article 16(4) of the Constitution. I want to say that the Supreme Court is misinterpreting the Constitution rather than interpreting it with the spirit of the Constitution. The Constitution is framed to provide justice to those who have been denied it for the ages. When it comes to provide justice to them on the principle of equality, it cannot be interpreted restrictively. Such a restrictive interpretation shall amount to negation of the Constitution itself. I therefore say that the 50% restriction imposed by the judicial pronouncement is wrong, and every section of the society should get their due share in the public employment in proportion to the population. When I say this, I am aware what Dr. Ambedkar has said in the Constituent Assembly. If I am not wrong, what he said, deposing trust in the judiciary, that the judges will be intellectually honest to the Constitution, but it seems that his trust is belied. I am of the opinion that 10% reservation provided to the so-called weaker section of the society, society is anti-constitutional without any data. I have filed a writ petition in the Supreme Court against it, but it was not stayed, whereas when it comes to the rights of OBC, the Supreme Court insisting on data. Lastly, I say that the appointment of judges in the Supreme Court and the High Court through collegium system is wrong. Justice will never be done to the SC, ST, OBCs and minorities in the appointment of judges under this system. In fact, if we read debate on draft Article 103 of the Constitution, which is Article 124 of the Constitution, Dr. Ambedkar has rejected word concurrence when the amendments were filed by the members of the Constituent Assembly, and retained word consultation in his draft on the ground that the Chief Justice is after all a human being and he has all weaknesses and prejudices, and therefore the powers which the Constituent Assembly is giving to the government of the day and the President should not be given to the Chief Justice of India. He has therefore left no scope for the interpretation to the judiciary. Despite this, the Supreme Court has interpreted the word consultation as concurrence and taken the power of appointment of judges in their hand. I feel it is by design and nothing else. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity and listening to me patiently.
Thank you, sir. We now have a video message by Mr. Sardar Tajinder Singh Jalli, the founder of Pagam.
Indian exploited communities, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, backward classes and minorities, they are having their different identities. They are always recognized through those identities. But a social transformation never happens on the basis of identities. For that purpose, we need a specific ideology. Therefore, if we are to bring about a social transformation, then all these identities must be follower of a definite ideology. Thus, we are to move from identity to ideologies. But whenever we move from ideology to identity, then social change will never occur. Therefore, first in the process of social change, we must wage a war of identity rather than ideology. Once oppressed and exploited group of people transform themselves to a base of identity rather than ideology, they will find themselves much closer to the ideology. In order to fulfill socio-economic agenda, do not follow the policy of moving alone. Make the co-sufferers to realize the necessity. This can be done through the force of organizational machinery. The cadres had been ruled more by the fear of intimidation rather than generosity. Subsidies and soaps had never been the policy of Baba Saheb Ambedkar or Mahatma Phule or Periyar Ramaswamy Naik. But the time of social change is also a time of economic change and generosities. Whereas it is not the time of building flyovers or running bullet trains and big malls only. It is the time to provide work to millions of idle hands also, which is generosity. Where it is time to bring economic reforms, it is utmost important to provide jobs to crores of unemployed laborers who are affected by Corona in a big way. Corona has given a slap on the face of policy planners how our rulers had ignored health facilities in the country. Country's agriculturists and farm laborers have been sitting at Delhi borders and agitating against ill-intentional farm laws. India needs reforms in police stations, cultural festivals, labor laws, courtrooms, and in bureaucracy. But for the purpose, a leader of Mahatma Phule, E.V.R. Ramaswamy Naik, and Baba Saheb Ambedkar's vision, a popular hero of masses, a tawdry personality is required. We do not need policy planners who only sit in tawdry air-conditioned north and south blocks of Lutyens, Delhi. We need those planners who generate money for over 7 lakh villagers in India. We as members and cadres of Pegam know that certain type of reforms are always popular in India. That is on the horizon of religion and varna and caste. But the reforms found in language and idioms of poverty as a product of social injustice and ignorance has to be taken to masses. The dry slogan of WTO, World Bank, GTT policy are dysfunctional in Indian caste-ridden society. Paigam cadres have got the backing of a dedicated and functional organization. They are basically incorruptible minds. They have historic working system of E.V.R. Ramaswamy Naikar, Babasaheb Dr. Ambedkar and Mahatma Jyotiba Phule's philosophy as a lighting candle. They have learned, coined and created a whole new language for social, economic and political change. Cadres of Paigam have understood that politicians and participation of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward classes and minorities in a joint venture in India is a vigil of peace, development and nationalism. Firstly, it is the matter of identity, not ideology. Therefore, when it becomes a matter of ideology, it is a loud vigil of power. No one will dare to obstruct them from that power. Power for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, minorities and backward communities of India. Thank you. Indian exploited.
I now invite Asiriyar Avargal, President Dravidar Kazhagam Tamil Nadu, to deliver his address.
Backward classes and minorities, they are having their different identities.
Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, who has achieved a historic victory after incessant battle. First of all, let us all congratulate you for the wonderful achievement, historical achievement. And our dear Justice Iswaraya and also the keynote speaker, our eminent advocate, senior advocate, who has voiced our arguments in the Supreme Court and won the case by his wonderful advocacy, and other dignitaries from different parts of Indian subcontinent and other states. First of all, we are here to salute you all. This is a land of Periyar, land of social justice, land of Dravidian heritage, Dravidian legacy, and this land we could be legitimately be proud of calling that we are running a beautiful Dravidian model administration under able and inspiring leadership of our unmatchable leader, the present Chief Minister, who has inherited the legacy of all our Dravidian leaders. So, first of all, let me all salute him. And also it is my bounden duty to salute all those who have come here and participated in this wonderful symposium to find out a way out, to build a great movement in future so that all our rights will not be snatched by the might, by safeguarded by our democratic means. This is very simple. As my predecessors and earlier speakers have said, we will have to build up a movement. Tamil Nadu has shown the way. In 1951, the first amendment of the Constitution, when communal duo was struck down by people's agitation, Periyar and Anna and other leaders of the Dravidian movement shown the way and won the way, our victory, by amending the Constitution first time by inserting 15:4. That is not only for Tamil Nadu, my dear brothers and sisters. With great vanakkam to everybody, let me add, that is being benefited by all of India, all our depressed and the downtrodden people. They are the beneficiary. So what the Dravidian movement fought was not for ourselves only for particular Tamil Nadu. It is for whole of India, whole of the oppressed and the depressed and the downtrodden. That is why still we are carrying out. The 69% is the only thing that we have achieved, which has got the 9th schedule protection by the amendment of the 76th amendment. And also the 93rd amendment also was responsible because of the DMK. Our leader, Kalaignar Karunanidhi, has participated and he was responsible in UPA for bringing that one. So long as this is concerned, the Tamil Nadu has got a legitimate legacy, and that legacy is being carried on by our great lieutenant, the present fighter of our Chief Minister, who is unparalleled in his fighting, uncompromising in his ideology, unfettered by tiredness. He carries, and so far we are concerned, he is not a politician in the ordinary sense of the word. So far as our Dravidian model is concerned, late lamented Anna and Kalaignar Karunanidhi, and who is now carrying on the legacy of all of them, our Honorable Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, they are all personification of the statesmanship. The politician thinks of the next election, whereas the statesman thinks of the next generation. We want to create a new society, and our mentor Tandai Periyar used to say, what we want is not mere transfer of power. We would like to have, being the majority of the people, who could have legitimate right in climbing a nation, that we want to create a new society. And our mentor Tandai Periyar, we want not mere transfer of power, transformation of power. That is the ideology, core ideology of the Dravidian movement. That transformation of power is being elected in Tamil Nadu. You can come and see Tamil Nadu, how the administration is going on. Half of the women population, they are so happy. Most of the minorities are having a sense of protection. And also the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and other people, they are all our brothers and sisters, because this Dravidian movement stands for not only for liberty and also for fraternity. The caste eradication is our program. And when our Chief Minister came and he implemented the great untouchability committees for recommendation that even Adi Dravida, the scheduled caste people, should be appointed as Archaka. And that was done by him. So another phase of social justice. So the battle for social justice, we have won many battles. We are going to win. What we have achieved is very small. The 27%, but for him, the 27% of medicos will not be available today. Today, a happy news is that this year, more than 2,000, that is actually 540 people of backward classes alone, they obtained the seat in the medical college. When this Dravidian movement was founded in 1916, earlier that, the greatest achievement so far as the medical side is that Sanskrit knowing people, only those who have known Sanskrit alone are eligible to apply for medical course. That was the earlier position. It was the Dravidian movement, the Justice Party rule that changed it. Had it not been, we would not have been seen a non-Brahmin, depressed and the downtrodden doctor to be here. Now there is always saying that their merit and deficiency will go. That has been exploded by the recent judgment, where our Wilson has played a very great role. We all thank him. It is under the inspiration and guidance and command of our Chief Minister. That is why we love to hear felicitate. This is not only to build a new movement. This is a small beginning. Of course, as Neil Armstrong has said, this may be a small step, but it will be a giant leap for the oppressed and the depressed and the downtrodden. So it is high time that we will have to build up a movement. When we want to build up a movement, and I adopt all the arguments of my previous speakers who have dealt with very rightly and wonderful, and there is a political anachronism today, is that we the people of India, particularly the majority of the people, what we are demanding is not unconstitutional or extra-constitutional. We are demanding very peculiarly to implement the Constitution. What the instruction is being found in the Constitution, we are fighting for that to our rights. We are not asking anything more than the Constitution. But unfortunately, for every step we will have to do that. When Mandal Commission was implemented, great social savior justice by Honorable V.P. Singh, how far it was done subsequently, because it was more by breach than by practice. Only by RTA information we got, only 12 to 14% was filled up. All the other restriction was grabbed by the forward community people. And what about whether it has gone to our scheduled caste brothers and sisters? No. So scheduled tribe people or minorities? No. It was grabbed by the oppressed people and oppressor, exploited by them. That is why our Chief Minister, first time in whole of India, has issued a commission, formed a committee, which is very directly, he can go and inspect any department and collect data, how far this percentage of reservation is being implemented. The 69% may be in paper, but let it not be in paper, let it be in action. How far it was achieved. So this was, he has shown a way to all of India. My dear brothers and sisters of other parts of India also take up the culture and create like that. So our Chief Minister, as the greatest architect of the Dravidian model, who continues it, has formed this committee. We will have to insist, it must be by the Union government, by all the other states, because what we want is not charity, we want parity. The days of Dronacharya and Ekalava is over. That we must very clearly say, as very rightly pointed out. So, we are happy that we got a great success by, even we thank for the landmark judgment, wonderful judgment recently obtained out of his fight for the right. But for our Chief Minister, this would not have been a possibility. Now they are enjoying the fruits, and whether it is a thankless job, so far as Dravidian movement is concerned, we never bother about thanks. It is a thankless job. We carry it as a duty, bounden duty. So it is high time that we will have to build up a movement. What we have achieved is very small. We have won many battles, but we are yet to war the war. What is the war? Completely what is adumbrated in the Constitution, that is more important. We are very happy that the recent judgment has very clearly said merit and deficiency will not suffer if the reservation is good, it is binary. We are very thankful. So it is high time, but for our Chief Minister, but for our efforts, but for our Wilsons, but for our all our brothers, we will have to be united. When we want to build a united movement, kindly don't stand on the party lines. Movement is different from party. So we will have to build up a new movement. And the leader, very efficient leader, will lead us. Here is a leader, the Dravidian model, the whole of India, because here we are all one and invisible. We will be indivisible. We are one together. Whatever that unites us, we will enlarge it. Whatever that divides us, we will eschew it. We don't want. So he is there to inspire us. Let us take the movement to every nook and corner of India. Let all the brothers and sisters of the oppressed, depressed, downtrodden minorities, let us take the flag of social justice, which is adumbrated in the Constitution, and make it a reality. Thank you very much. Our hearty congratulations for the wonderful organization by inviting. This is a very small step. We will have to go a long way. This is a preliminary step, and we will have to fight. So many Stalins in every state, we will have to fight it. And Dravidian ideology, Dravidian model will have to deliver the new things that deliver the real social justice, because social justice is demanded out of social injustice. So in social injustice, if at all you will be destroyed, social justice, the flag of social justice must be flown high. And the Tamil Nadu, the land of social justice, the land of Periyar, the land of Baba Saheb Ambedkar, the land of Dravidian movement, late Laban Anna, Kalaignar, all personification of now presently Stalin. We will have to carry that movement. Thank you very much. Long live social justice. Let our fight continue. We will never war our rest of our wars. We will continue our fight. We will find a movement, and definitely the war, let me remind once again, we will have to win the war. That must be our aim. That must be our aim. I remind that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the illuminating address. I now invite our guest of honor, Honorable Mr. E.T. Mohammed Bashir, Member of Parliament and Parliamentary Party Leader, Indian Union Muslim League Party, to deliver his address.
Namaste to everybody, and my heartiest Republic Day greeting to all. Most respected M.K. Stalin, the wonderful Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, and dignitaries like Mr. Justice Ishreya, my learned friend Sri Wilson MP, and other dignitaries. I have immense pleasure in participating in this webinar. The first thing is that this is to honor Sri M.K. Stalin, our Chief Minister, who have made wonderful result as far as this social justice is concerned. He and his party, they made wonderful contribution towards achieving the target of this reservation. And it was as said by others, it was a historical struggle they made politically and legally. I humbly and wholeheartedly congratulate Sri Stalin and his party and their effort for achieving this great goal. I do not hesitate to say that Mr. Stalin has proved that he is capable and dynamic leader for ensuring social justice in the country. I believe that he can be projected as an icon in this topic. On behalf of IOML and myself, I express our heartiest congratulations to Mr. Stalin and his Tamil Nadu government. IOML is really proud of having association with DMK regime in Tamil Nadu. I also wish to state that IOML have always made a very strong stand for the protection of the reservation when we were in power in the state of Kerala, And we have made tremendous contribution in the parliament also on this subject. I wholeheartedly congratulate and wish Sri Stalin to continue his noble work on this subject. When we are discussing this thing, we have to think loudly on this subject in a wide concept. See, we all know that we are all talking about the affirmative actions. What exactly is the affirmative action? A detailed discussion is needed on that, but considering the time frame, I don't want to take much of the time. One thing I would tell you that political parties will have to play a pivotal role in this. In this case also, I wish to quote a topic from Mr. Stalin's recent speech. Recently, in a function organized for unveiling the portrait of late comrade P. Pandian, so Stalin pointed out that the like-minded political parties to work together to create a society of self-respect and social justice. He reminded us that ours is not a political alliance, it's an ideology-based alliance, and of course, such an alliance will have a common goal to march forward. I underline that. That can be taken as the crux of the subject which you are going today. As far as possible, the unity is the need of the hour. Unfortunately, the downtrodden section, the marginalized section, they are not keeping the spirit of the unity. Unfortunately, they are divided like anything. Now, we have to realize what exactly is happening in this country now, especially in the contemporary political situation. The present government is doing what? They are engineering on how to curb the constitutional right or the OBC, minorities, SCSTs. We all know that government's plan and actions, I don't want to elaborate that, they are doing all kind of injustice to the marginalized section. They are widening the gap of inequality. We all know that. We are all proud of our constitution. My former speakers, they were all saying about that. I don't want to elaborate it. Whether it is in the case of Article 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 39, 45, 46, 243, and 330. All these things. There are many other topics also. All this constitution, what it says, that is to ensure or to reduce the gap of this discrimination. But unfortunately, what is happening? They are not even honoring the constitutional kind of things. They are disregarding the constitutional kind of thing and doing the things according to their will and pleasure. So what I am saying is, if we keep mum on this, we will be branded as what is called like culprits in this thing. So we are all duty bound to fight against this injustice. I would like to say, I don't want to take much of your time because there are many other eminent speakers who are going to speak after me. Now, what is happening? When we are talking about this affirmative action, now the main discussions are confined with reservation. Now there is a school of thought. Some people are arguing that time is now over for the reservation and this not will be continued. They are arguing about the upper class and this and that kind of things. When this that kind of economic EWS came in the parliament, our party took a very strong stand against it, because when you adopt this kind of criteria of economic criteria for the reservation, that itself is really spoiling the very spirit of the reservation. In addition to that, in addition to the reservation, I would like to say one thing only, that is, we have to concentrate in other areas also. Affirmative action need not be confined only in this thing. At the same time, we know that employment sector, now almost all the employment sectors are moving to private sector. Instead of public sector, it is now turning into private sector. It is high time to demand reservation in the employment in the private sector also. I suggest that we have to take up that also. And similarly, we know that it's not only the issue of the government. We ourselves should take initiative to ensure social justice. As political parties, we can play many important roles in this. Similarly, community-based effort, that also can be done. involvement of NGOs. That's a wealth for us. Utilizing their service also, we must be able to know the things. Effective intervention of fourth estate, media, of course. I don't want to say much about that. Whether it is fourth estate or the latest ones, fifth estate, print media or electronic media or social media, they will have to cooperate with this. Because whenever there is a denial of justice, when social justice is not adhering to, I suggest and I even appeal to the media also to take a pivotal role in this. So, environmental creation, budding generation should realize the consequences of denial of the social justice. For that also, I feel that kind of environmental environmental creation is also very much required in this. With these few words, I don't want to take much of your time anyhow. I'm really proud of in participating in the discussion. We know Mr. Stalin and his team is doing wonderful work in this. Let us hope for the best. Let us expect. Let us see that they will have much more and more leadership to this noble cause. With these few words, I conclude. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now invite our guest of honor, Shri Manoj Kumar Jha, Honorable Member of Parliament, Rashtriya Janata Dal Party, to deliver his address.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Please proceed.
I wish to first congratulate Honorable CM of Tamil Nadu, Stalin ji, my friend Wilson ji, and my leader, Tejasvi Yadav ji. Ishwaraya ji has been a great hope for all of us. My experience. Today is our Republic Day, 73rd Republic Day. I congratulate all of us sitting here and to the entire nation on behalf of me and my party, Rashtriya Janata Dal. So I would again salute our leader, Karpuri ji, because the Dravidian movement has been a great source of inspiration for us in Bihar. My own president, Lalu Prasad Yadav ji, and my leader, Tejasvi Yadav ji. Why I say this, that because each time we make intervention in parliament, we have, and I must tell you that right through last 3 years, 3.5 years, when I was sent by my party in the parliament, the greatest support on all issues of social justice has been from Dravida Munnetra Kargam. I can never forget that on a day when my party, me and my leader Tejasvi ji, we spoke that how should we make an argument on this important and critical juncture of our political history. I think the greatest support, I repeat, came from DMK, because our argument was on this, a very basic argument, that what is the evidence? People ridiculed us because they control the media narrative, the dominant caste, the dominant classes. But I'm very glad today Honorable Supreme Court is asking the same question which Rashtriya Janata Dal asked inside the parliament about the hurry and the hurry only for the purpose of securing political, capital, and I think that is very important to underline. My second argument would be that this success of NIT has been within Parliament. I remember Wilson Saab, I myself, we had been raising it. Now, this is one important milestone we have achieved. But as my leader, Tejasvi ji has been very consistent about the most important milestone, which remains elusive for all of us. It's not only about the OBCs, it's about the very idea of the nation. It's about the very idea of the freedom. It's about the very idea of equality, because these are the words you cannot look at it remaining on the first page of Indian Constitution, that is the life. For that, the most important thing, which Tejasvi ji took lead within Bihar Assembly, and the entire Assembly passed the resolution, including the reluctant Bharatiya Janata Party. Now, that caste-based census, and we have been providing very ordinary, everyday kind of argument that In order to make intervention, we must know who stands where, who is getting what, who is missing on large number of components and parameters, why certain communities and people remain at the bottom of the ladder. Now, this has been the concern of Rashtriya Janata Dal in North, and I'm very glad we have a most vocal partner. Apart from different groups, we have most vocal partner in case of Dravida Munnetra Kargam, which takes inspiration from Periyar to Justice Party, and then Kalanjar, and then presently our own Honorable CM Stalin ji. Now, I'll just close the argument by saying that we need to collaborate further, and the collaboration must come from the fact that parties like Dravida Munnetra Kargam and Rashtriya Janata Dal, people like Stalin ji and Tejasvi Prasad Yadav ji, we must collaborate on an everyday basis and make sure that we don't have to hold these seminars and webinars anymore. It has to be people's struggle, as somebody said, on the field, a political struggle inside the parliament, a legislative struggle inside the court, a legal struggle. Now, these struggles are not in either I or version. These struggles are the sum total of what we need at this critical juncture of our history, as we remember the 75th year of our independence as well. And this independence has to be meant a true independence. This Republic Day has to be meant as a genuine Republic Day, what Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar had warned us in 1949, that political democracy shall remain stale and meaningless if it is not translated in everyday lived reality of social democracy. And there we need such partnerships, such collaborations between political parties like Rashtriya Janata Dal and other political parties in the North. And as I said and I repeat, the beacon of hope, Dravida Munnetra Kargam. And I once again thank everybody who has invited me here. I thank my party for putting me in parliament, where I am a small voice for the concerns of social justice. Jai Bhim, Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. I now invite our guest of honor, Honorable Mr. Derek O'Brien, Member of Parliament and Parliamentary Party Leader in the Rajya Sabha for the All India Trinamool Congress, to deliver his address.
A very good afternoon. Congratulations to Thiru M.K. Stalin, the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. And just to save time, with the permission of everybody else here, I mentioned Mr. M.K. Stalin's name, but I'm not mentioning the other names because I noticed we are about 10-12 minutes behind time. And even in Parliament, we have very good coordination between DMK and Trinamool Congress and all the other parties. So let us play the team game. I was given 5 minutes to speak, but we want Mr. Stalin to speak on time at 12:25, so I'll only speak for 2 minutes. My colleague Manoj spoke just before me, and then Mr. Wilson spoke before that. Well, I can tell you, the DMK, led by Mr. Stalin, the All India Trinamool Congress, led by Mamta Banerjee. We have, if Manoj's party is the RJD, I only wish all parties could coordinate like us. We don't have any egos. We are very clear as to what the focus is. And congratulations, Mr. Stalin, to you and your entire team, because I know and I remember how difficult it is these days to raise any issue in Parliament, because the government don't want to raise any issues, because the problem is that they don't want to be accountable to the people. So when you don't want to be accountable to the people, the first thing you do is stall Parliament. So I always maintain the opposition doesn't stall Parliament, the government stalls Parliament, because if Parliament doesn't run, then they are not accountable to the people. But on numerous occasions, all the opposition parties, or at least most of the opposition parties, I remember the NEET very, very clearly. And it's been done very, very well. It's not easy. And it's very, very well done to each one of you, and you have to get the clearance from the leadership. So, Mr. Stalin, congratulations. And in the future, let's continue to work together for such difficult issues. I'm not going to be a spoiled sport, but I will make a point here that I wish Mr. Wilson, and you're my friend, so I can tell you this as a friend, I wish, because we are all going to fight very hard for the women's reservation bill, again, inside Parliament, outside Parliament, and on the streets. Mr. Wilson, perhaps you should have invited one lady onto this panel, but next time. So once again, congratulations. I'm delighted to be here, and greetings from Mamtadi and the DMK, the Trinamool, and all of us like-minded parties. You can be rest assured we will work together for any issue, because sometimes politics is secondary, the movement is primary. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you, sir. I now invite our guest of honor, Honorable Dr. Audi Malappu Suresh, the Minister for Education, Government of Andhra Pradesh, to deliver his address.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all. The chief guest of today's national webinar, Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Thiru Stalin sir, and the President of DMK, the convener and organizer of today's national webinar, the chairman of All India Backward Classes Federation, Justice Iswaran sir, and the person who has led the struggle to achieve this 27% OBC reservations in medical and dental sciences from judicial side, Honorable Member of Parliament, Sri Wilson sir, and all the other dignitaries. A very good afternoon to you, and I bring with me the greetings from the government of Andhra Pradesh, and on behalf of our Honorable Chief Minister, Benevolent Chief Minister, Pragmatic Chief Minister Sri Y.S. Jagannath Reddy garu. And I wish all who are on this national webinar the greetings on the occasion of 73rd Republic Day. So, as Mr. Derek has said, we are all very eagerly waiting to listen to Thiru's, the Honorable Chief Minister Stalin sir, exactly at 12:25. That's what actually Wilson sir has put it, and then we want to help him in sticking to this time. So I would not take much time, but only I just want to tell that the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Stalin sir, in a short period of his assuming office as Chief Minister, the works what he have done, the initiatives what he have taken up, and the reforms what he has carried forward clearly tells that here is the leader who is actually now a hope, a beacon of hope and trust for the depressed and downtrodden people. I'm very glad and happy to place on record the efforts made for the people of backward classes across the nation by Sir, CM Sir and your party, which take up this cause of implementing this 27% OBC in admission and 2 medical courses. This is a social justice is a long journey. It's a long journey and it's a continuous run. So, with the philosophy and the ideology of great people like Dr. Baba Saheb B.R. Ambedkar ji and Mahatma Jyotiba Phule ji, who has believed that there is a transformation of society which takes place only through education. And the saying goes, great people think alike. So, Honorable Chief Minister Stalin sir and our Honorable Chief Minister Y.S. Jagannath Reddy garu both think alike. So they have taken education as a priority In fact, I would like to say, sir, that Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh are the only two states in the entire country which are actually implementing a very nutritious and then very clean midday meal scheme to all the lakhs of children in the schools across their states. So this concept of poverty should not be a barrier to education. The expenditure what we spend in education is an investment for the future of the generations. Future generations is what the thinking of our honorable CM and the great people also have said that the transformation of the society will take place only through education, and education is the only powerful weapon to change the society. As an education minister, I'm very happy, and then I'm very fortunate that such great leaders are now leading these two states and then guiding us to implement one of the fantastic programs where now education is given a level playing field to all the people irrespective of the community now, depressed classes especially. English medium is one reform which we have taken up now in Andhra Pradesh, and then along with the education and English medium education is as a matter of right we want to give to the children of the state. As I would like to put forth only very few points here that in Andhra Pradesh, the government has turned backward classes to backbone classes. They are no longer backward classes. They are backbone classes because 50% of the population in Andhra Pradesh constitute backward communities. So any community which is more than 30,000 population had been given a corporation status for social, economic, and educational development. So social, economical, educational, and political development. And then all the directors, all the chairmen actually have been given their share based on their population. This is one great initiative what we have taken. And then all the direct benefit schemes for incentivizing the students, incentivizing the mothers, incentivizing the old age people. All these initiatives we have taken it up only to give a level playing field. I'm sure today's topic here will definitely discuss many of the issues for the struggle towards social justice. And let me assure you, sir, that from state of Andhra Pradesh, we are with the this forum, this platform, whatever joint national program they devise for implementing the social justice movement, we will be very wholeheartedly extend our support and continue the relation between Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh in jointly achieving for the for equality and for social justice among the various castes which are there in both the states, which have been denied this education for centuries together. So thank you so much, sir, for giving this wonderful opportunity. Especially I should thank the convener, Justice Iswaran sir, who has really made it possible for me to participate on this platform and bring forth the views of the government of Andhra Pradesh, which is very much committed for the upliftment of the downtrodden especially, and giving them political equality. As much as 50% of our cabinet has been filled with the ministers from the backward community. 50% we have given, and then all the nominated posts, both at the district level, state level, the share has been given. The share as per their population has been given. That's what we believe. The political empowerment to the depressed classes. Within that, again, 50% of the reservations were given to the women. And as both the leaders from Tamil Nadu, Sir Thiru, Stalin sir, and then Y. Jagannathan Reddy sir, together, I think if we can implement all these things and then take forward this social justice movement further, I'm sure time is not far away where we'll have an equal platform for all the oppressed and depressed classes across the country. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. I now invite our guest of honor, Honorable Shri Jagan Chandrakant Bhojpal, the Minister for Food, Civil Supplies and Consumer Protection, Government of Maharashtra, to deliver his address.
Thank you. Honorable CM Shri Stalin ji. All distinguished guests, today is Republic Day of our nation. On this occasion, I congratulate all of you. I'm very happy to hear several leaders' views on OBC backward class people's problems, and happy that they are trying their level best, fighting tooth and nail to get the justice for them. I'm also honored and delighted to be a part of this event, which is organized by many backward classes organizations. I congratulate DMK President and Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Honorable M.K. Stalin ji for his victory in Supreme Court on OBC medical reservations. The Union government decision to provide a 27% reservation for OBC in all India quota for undergraduate and postgraduate medical and dental courses is a victory of all of you. It's a significant victory for all the people and OBCs in India connected to social justice. This is a crucial phase in the history of social justice. By considering the welfare of the backward class of the country, DMK presented the side of this matter in the Supreme Court and argued about this initiative and won. You fought a legal battle in Madras High Court and Supreme Court, and the OBC class had a great day. Honorable Stalin ji, you consistently fought for the OBC community in the Supreme Court in this regard. You played a significant role in getting a 27% reservation to the OBC community in medical and dental admissions. Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, Savitribai Phule, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, Periyar Swamiji, Anna, they all devoted their whole life for upliftment of the backward class. Stalin ji, your father, Lord Karunanidhi ji, also spent whole life and fought for the backward class to get justice. Following his footsteps, you are also serving the backward classes and working very hard for them. We must also thank our friend, senior Advocate Wilson, who is fighting in the Supreme Court for OBC reservations. He has consistently raised the issue, be it in Madras High Court or in the Supreme Court. He has stood by the case firmly in the court. We are all fighting a court battle for the Supreme Court stay on the OBC reservations in Panchayat Raj. In last March 21, Supreme Court has said that without triple test, said in the Krishnamurthy case, you cannot implement the OBC reservation in Panchayat Raj elections. It's okay to keep it under 50%. It's easy, okay, we agree with that. But they said that you collect the empirical data of your OBCs and prove. Now how to prove? The census is altogether a responsibility of the central government. Now in Maharashtra, some elections of the Panchayat Samiti already held without the reservation of OBCs. And in the coming February and March, Mumbai Municipal Corporation, big corporations and the district bodies elections are there. We are very much worried what is going to happen, whether they are going to get OBC reservation or not. Advocate Wilson is also appeared in Supreme Court for this cause on behalf of our Mahatma Phule Samta Parishad. His argument has given us some relief in the last hearing. So I'm confident that the reservation of OBCs in Panchayat Raj will be soon restored. OBC reservation has been disrupted in all Panchayat Raj institutions. And who is responsible for this? I am of the opinion that some of the people in this country are trying to bring Manuwad in this country again. They don't want to give education to the backward class people. They don't want to give the jobs. They don't want that OBC people should come in the power. They want Manuwad in this country. After cancelling the OBC reservation in Panchayat Raj institutions, we immediately made several lawyers, leaders in Delhi, and began to fight good battles on behalf of the Akhil Bharatiya Mahatma Phule Samta Parishad. As I said, senior advocate, under your guidance, Mr. P. Wilson filed an intervention petition. We met many leaders in Delhi and Maharashtra and discussed the matter. We demanded empirical data from the central to save the OBC reservation in the court. However, the suspension of the OBC reservation was not lifted due to the non-cooperation of central government. The government of Maharashtra is fighting judicially political battles in the same manner the way Honorable Stalin ji, you and your all associates are fighting. Maharashtra government is of the opinion that there should not be any Panchayat Raj election without OBC reservations. In that regard, we made petition in the Supreme Court. The reason for placing all this in front of you today is that we have fought for the OBC reservation and will continue to do so. Not giving representation to such large community would be the biggest injustice. Stalin ji, you are a ray of hope for all of us. Our whole OBC community in the country. We all are with you in this crusade. May God bless you full strength to lead OBC in this country. We are all with you in this cause. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now invite our special guest of honor, Honorable Shri Tejasvi Yadav, the former Deputy Chief Minister and currently Leader of Opposition Bihar, to deliver his address.
Thank you for inviting me. And सबको नमस्कार एंड हैप्पी रिपब्लिक डे। और सबसे पहले हमारे भाई स्टालिन साहब को मैं धन्यवाद कहता हूं, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट करता हूं, मैनी कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन। जो उन्होंने लड़ाई लड़ी है वो काबिल तारीफ है। और सिर्फ बैकवर्ड कम्युनिटी नहीं, जो भी शोषित वंचित समाज जो है, बैकवर्ड हमारी सोसाइटी जो रही है, उन सब की नजरें जो थी स्टालिन साहब पे थी, और डीएमके पार्टी और आरजेडी सेम सोशल विजन रखती है, चाहे करुणानिधि जी हों, लालू प्रसाद जी हों, हमारे लोहिया जी हों या कर्पूरी ठाकुर जी। लगातार पिछड़ों के लिए उन्होंने लड़ाई लड़ी। जो भी शोषित वंचित समाज, जिनको समाज में मुख्य धारा में लाने से रोका जाता था, उन सब को जो है हमारे नेताओं ने, जिनका नाम हमने लिया, उनकी आवाज बने। चाहे मंडल कमीशन रहा हो, नीट का मामला हो, जो हम लोग समान विचारधारा रखते हैं हमारी पार्टी, सभी लोगों ने सदन से सड़क तक लड़ाई लड़ी। लेकिन आज चिंता का विषय यह है कि जो लोग मौजूदा सरकार में हैं वो संविधान विरोधी हैं, वो आरक्षण विरोधी हैं। साफ बात है कि जो मौजूदा सरकार वो हमारे संविधान पे विश्वास ना रखते हुए वो बंच ऑफ थॉट्स की बात करती है। बाबा अंबेडकर की नहीं, बल्कि बाबा गोवलकर की बात करती है। और आरएसएस का एजेंडा जो है पूरे देश में धीरे धीरे लागू किया जा रहा है। आज जो हमें अधिकार में जो मिला है उसके लिए हम लोगों को लड़ाई लड़ना पड़ रहा है, और इसके लिए स्पेशल थैंक्स हम लोग डीएमके पार्टी को, स्टालिन साहब को देना चाहेंगे कि उन्होंने कोर्ट में इस मामले को लेकर के गए, लोगों को न्याय मिला। लेकिन असली लड़ाई ये है कि जब तक कास्ट सेंसस नहीं होगा तब तक रियल पिक्चर जो है वो सामने नहीं आएगी। कास्ट सेंसस को लेकर के डीएमके ने भी और आरजेडी ने भी बड़ी मजबूती के साथ जो है देश के पार्लियामेंट में आवाज उठाया, और मौजूदा जो सरकार है उसका साफ हम लोगों को संदेश दिया गया कि अगर वो कास्ट सेंसस को नकारते हैं, डिसमिस करते हैं पार्लियामेंट में, तो ये समझा जाए कि वो सोशल जस्टिस को नहीं मानते हैं। उन्होंने सोशल जस्टिस को इनकार किया है, डिसमिस किया है। अभी भी आप देखेंगे जो मंडल कमीशन लागू हुआ उसमें हमारे नेता लालू जी जो है या और तमाम नेता जो है, वीपी सिंह जी के समय ये लागू हुआ, लेकिन अभी भी पूरी तरीके से ये मामला जो है पूरा नहीं हुआ है। अभी भी कई 10% जो है आप कह सकते हैं मंडल कमीशन का इम्प्लीमेंटेशन जो है वो होता है। तो मौजूदा सरकार में हम लोगों को सरकार से कोई उम्मीद नहीं है, क्योंकि हम पार्लियामेंट में ये बात रखा, एक बार नहीं कई बार रखा, पार्लियामेंट में साफ तौर पे कास्ट सेंसस को नकार दिया गया। और बिहार की असेंबली में हम लोगों ने प्रस्ताव रखा था कास्ट सेंसस का, जिसको लेके सर्वदलीय सहमति से एक बार नहीं बल्कि 2 बार पास किया गया, ना कि केवल बिहार विधानसभा में बल्कि बिहार विधान परिषद में भी, इंक्लूडिंग बीजेपी। जब हम लोग को लगा कि पार्लियामेंट में मना कर दिया कास्ट सेंसस को लेकर के, तो हम लोगों का विचार रहा कि बिहार विधानसभा का जो प्रस्ताव था तो एक टीम बनाया जाए, सर्वदलीय हमारा ही प्रस्ताव था। चाहे नीतीश कुमार जी, उन्हीं के नेतृत्व में हम चले, प्रधानमंत्री से मिलकर आए, अपनी बात को रखें। भले ही वो किसी भी विचारधारा से प्रधानमंत्री ताल्लुक रखते हों, लेकिन वो देश के प्रधानमंत्री, हमारा अधिकार है उनसे मिलकर के अपनी बात को रखने का। लेकिन साफ तौर पे उसके बाद भी पार्लियामेंट में जब सवाल आया कास्ट सेंसस का तो मना हो गया। तो हम लोगों का राय था कि कई साउथ में भी कई ऐसी पार्टियां हैं जिन्होंने अपने बलबूते पे कास्ट सेंसस कराया है, तो हम लोग जो है बिहार में भी बिहार सरकार से हमने आग्रह किया है कि वो अपने खर्चे पर जो है कास्ट सेंसस कराए। अब कास्ट सेंसस जब होगा तो सही पिक्चर पता चलेगा कि किसकी कितनी आबादी है, उसके हिसाब से उसकी हिस्सेदारी होनी चाहिए। और चाहे नौकरियों में, एजुकेशन में जो बैकवर्ड क्लासेस हैं, एक्सट्रीम बैकवर्ड क्लासेस हैं, उनको लाभ होगा, क्योंकि दलित का पहले से ही बाबा साहब ने अधिकार दिया हुआ है। और जब सही पिक्चर जब सामने आएगा तो कई सरकारी योजनाएं भी जो हैं वो अलग से बजट में प्रोविजन करके उनके लिए बनाया जाए ताकि उनके लिए लाभकारी हो। और ये केवल ये जब हम लोग कास्ट सेंसस की बात करते हैं तो लोगों को लगता है कि हम लोग जातिवादी फैला रहे हैं, जात पात को फैला रहे हैं, लेकिन उन लोगों को ये समझने की जरूरत है हम लोग जात पात नहीं, हम लोग इक्वलिटी की बात कर रहे हैं, बराबरी की बात कर रहे हैं। जो सदियों से जिनको शिक्षा नहीं मिली, जिनको रोजगार नहीं मिला, जिनको सम्मान नहीं मिला, कम से कम वो भी आए, हमारे समान लोगों को सम्मान मिले, लोगों को अधिकार मिले, ताकि पढ़ाई में, रोजगार में लोगों को जो है लाभ पहुंचे। अब नीट का मामला हो, इससे पहले 13 रोस्टर का मामला हो, ये लगातार आरक्षण खत्म कर रहे हैं, रिजर्वेशन खत्म कर रहे हैं। अब चिंता का विषय यह है कि अब हर चीज को प्राइवेटाइज कर दी है सरकार। जहां भी सरकारी संस्थानें थी, जहां भी आरक्षण मिला करता था, आप समझिए कि वो संस्थान को ही खत्म कर देगी तो आरक्षण तो बस कहने की बात होगी। यानी बड़े चालाकी से, बड़े तरीके से ये आरक्षण को ही समाप्त करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन सामने आकर के नहीं। तो ये सारी चीजें हम लोगों को समझनी है कि इनका जो आरएसएस का जो डिजाइन है ये हम लोगों के लिए कितना खतरनाक है। और इसके लिए ये नीट का मामला है, ये तो बस शुरुआत है, लेकिन आप देखिएगा इससे पहले भी दलितों के लिए जो कानून था उसको भी खत्म किया गया। तो धीरे 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 ये हम लोगों को बांटना चाहते हैं, काटना चाहते हैं। तो हम लोगों की जवाबदेही बनती है कि इस मौजूदा समय में जहां सरकारी संस्थानें, ऑल द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस आर प्लेइंग लाइक अ सेल ऑफ बीजेपी पार्टी, मतलब एक पार्टी का प्रकोष्ठ बनकर के सरकारी संस्थानें रह गई हैं। और जो उम्मीद जहां की जाती थी रोजगार का, चाहे रेलवे हो, चाहे एयर इंडिया हो, चाहे ओएनजीसी हो, ये जितनी भी संस्थानें हैं, सब जगह जो है धीरे 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 प्राइवेटाइज किया जा रहा है। अब इस लड़ाई को, क्योंकि मंडल कमीशन का भी अब तक पूरा हम लोगों को लाभ नहीं मिला है, रिजर्वेशन एंड प्रमोशन की बात की जाए, दलितों की बात की जाए, हर बार हम लोगों को सड़क पे आना पड़ता है, हर बार लड़ना पड़ता है, तभी ये सरकार जो है सुनती नहीं। इसलिए हम सब लोगों को डेली बेसिस पे, और सबकी जवाबदेही है, जितने भी बैकवर्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, पॉलिटिकल पार्टी हैं या जो समान विचारधारा रखते हैं, सबको एकजुट करने की आवश्यकता है और एक मुहिम छेड़ने की जरूरत है। लड़ाई लड़नी पड़ेगी कि कभी अगर ऐसी बात आए तो हम इससे निपटने के लिए तैयार रहें। अब ये कम्युनिकेशन जो गैप हो रहा है, इस कम्युनिकेशन गैप को हम कैसे दूर करें, क्योंकि अपने लोग रीजनल्स पार्टी हैं, अपने अपने स्टेट्स में हम लोग सीमित रहते हैं, लेकिन मुझे पूरा भरोसा है जो स्टालिन साहब ने जो किया, कोर्ट लेके गए, या लगातार इनकी पार्टी, इनके नेता लगातार बैकवर्ड्स के लिए लड़ते रहे हैं। तो इस साउथ में आप लोग लड़ रहे हैं बड़ी मजबूती के साथ, नॉर्थ में हम लोग बड़ी मजबूती के साथ अपनी बातों पर अड़िग हैं, लड़ रहे हैं, लेकिन इसको एक दूसरा रूप देने की जरूरत है। वी हैव टू टेक इट इनटू अ डिफरेंट लेवल नाउ। हमेशा बार बार ये कठिनाइयां आएंगी ही आएंगी, क्योंकि इस सरकार में और कोई हम लोग एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर सकते। और स्टालिन साहब को भी पता होगा, ये हायर एजुकेशन में रिजर्वेशन तब आया जब हम लोग यूपीए गवर्नमेंट में थे, जब करुणानिधि जी थे, लालू प्रसाद जी थे। 2006 में इसको जब अर्जुन सिंह एचआरडी मिनिस्टर थे, तब हायर एजुकेशन में रिजर्वेशन लाया गया था। तो हम लोग लगातार इस मामले में कभी भी कमजोर नहीं पड़ने वाले। हमेशा, चाहे पार्लियामेंट हो, सड़क हो, सदन हो, मजबूती के साथ हम लोग हमेशा आवाज उठाते रहेंगे। जहां भी जरूरत पड़ेगी हम लोग आगे मिलेंगे। और मुझे खुशी है कि स्टालिन साहब जिस प्रकार से जैसे आगे बढ़ रहे हैं इस मुहिम को लेकर के, हमारी बेस्ट विशेस भी आपके साथ हैं और हमेशा हम लोग आपके साथ खड़े रहने वाले लोग हैं। तो हम इतना ही कहना चाहेंगे कि आप सब लोग एक हों और इसको क्या रूप दिया जाए, एक बार फिर हम लोग सब लोग बैठे और ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को भी हम लोग जो है मजबूत करें और अपनी बातों को लोगों को ज्यादा से ज्यादा हम लोग समझाएं, कन्विंस करें, क्योंकि जो मीडिया का जो रोल रहता है आजकल, जैसा स्क्रिप्ट दिया जाता है 2 जगह से, वही प्ले करना होता है उन लोगों को। तो हम लोग वो की जो परेशानी है, कठिनाई है, इससे हम लोगों को निराश होने की जरूरत नहीं, बल्कि हम लोग और इससे मजबूत हो रहे हैं। तो आप सब लोगों को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। सब लोगों का आशीर्वाद, प्यार लगातार आप सब लोगों का मिलता रहता है। हमेशा इस फ्रंट पे आप लोग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, जितने भी हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है और ऑर्गेनाइजर हैं, उनको भी हम धन्यवाद कहते हैं कि हम सब लोगों को एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे आपने ला करके डिस्कशन कराया। और स्पेशल थैंक्स टू स्टालिन साहब। थैंक यू एवरीवन।
Thank you, sir. We are indeed very grateful for you taking time out of your packed schedule to join us today. I now have the pleasure and honor of inviting our chief guest for the afternoon, the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu and President of the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, to deliver the presidential address.
திராவிடர் கழகத்தினுடைய தலைவர் மாண்புமிகு ஐயா ஆசிரியர் அவர்களே, ஏஐபிசிஎஃப் அமைப்பினுடைய தலைவர் மற்றும் ஒருங்கிணைப்பாளர் மாண்புமிகு நீதியரசர் திரு ஈஸ்வரையா அவர்களே, மாண்புமிகு மகாராஷ்டிரா மாநிலத்தினுடைய உணவுத்துறை அமைச்சர் ஷகன் சந்திரகாந்த் புஜ்பால் அவர்களே, மாண்புமிகு ஆந்திர மாநிலத்தினுடைய கல்வித்துறை அமைச்சர் டாக்டர் ஆதிமூலப்பு சுரேஷ் அவர்களே, பீகார் சட்டமன்றத்தினுடைய எதிர்க்கட்சி தலைவர் தேஜஸ்வி யாதவ் அவர்களே, திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தினுடைய நாடாளுமன்ற உறுப்பினரும் 27 விழுக்காட்டு சட்ட போராளியுமான வழக்கறிஞர் திரு வில்சன் அவர்களே, கேரள இந்திய யூனியன் முஸ்லீம் லீக் கட்சி எம்பி திரு ஈடி முகமது பஷீர் அவர்களே, அகில இந்திய திரிணாமுல் காங்கிரஸ் நாடாளுமன்ற கட்சி தலைவர் திரு டெரெக் ஒபிரேயன் அவர்களே, ராஷ்டிரிய ஜனதாதளம் கட்சியினுடைய நாடாளுமன்ற உறுப்பினர் திரு மனோஜ்குமார் ஜா அவர்களே, அலகாபாத் உயர்நீதிமன்றத்தினுடைய முன்னாள் நீதியரசர் திரு வீரேந்திர சிங் யாதவ் அவர்களே, PAGAM நிறுவனத்தினுடைய திரு சர்தார் தேஜிந்தர் சிங் ஜல்லி அவர்களே, BMCEF அதனுடைய நிறுவனர் திரு PT போர்க்கர் அவர்களே, லீட் இந்தியா அறக்கட்டளையினுடைய தலைவர் டாக்டர் ஹரி எப்பனப்பள்ளி அவர்களே, சமூக நீதிகளை பற்றுக்கொண்டு இந்தியா முழுவதும் செயல்பட்டு வரக்கூடிய செயல்பாட்டாளர்களே, மனித உரிமையினுடைய ஆர்வலர்களே, வழக்கறிஞர்களே, அனைவருக்கும் என்னுடைய அன்பான வணக்கம். வரலாற்று சிறப்புமிக்க நாள் இது. சமூக நீதி வரலாற்றிலே பொன்னெழுத்துக்களால் பொறிக்கத்தக்க வேண்டிய நாள் இந்த நாள். சமூக நீதி அடித்தளமாக கொண்ட ஒரு அகில இந்திய கூட்டமாக இந்த கூட்டம் காணொலி காட்சி மூலமாக நடைபெற்றுக் கொண்டிருக்கிறது. நம்முடைய மாண்புமிகு ஆசிரியர் அவர்கள் இங்கே பேசுகிற போது ஒன்றை குறிப்பிட்டு சொன்னார். திராவிட இயக்கம் பாராட்டை எதிர்பார்க்கவில்லை, இது திராவிட இயக்கத்தினுடைய கடமை என்று சொன்னார். ஆக அதை நானும் வழிமொழிவதற்கு கடமைப்பட்டிருக்கிறேன். இதனை பாராட்டு விழாவாக நான் கருதாமல் அடுத்த கட்ட சமூக நீதி உரிமையை பாதுகாக்க எடுக்கக்கூடிய நடவடிக்கை கூட்டமாகவே நான் இதை கருதுகிறேன். காணொலி வாயிலாக இந்த கூட்டம் நடந்தாலும் கண்கொள்ளா காட்சியாக இது அமைந்திருக்கிறது. இப்போ என்னுடைய வருத்தம் எல்லாம் இதை காண்பதற்கு தந்தை பெரியாரும் பேரறிஞர் அண்ணாவும் நம்முடைய முத்தமிழறிஞர் கலைஞரும் இல்லையே என்பது மட்டும்தான் வருத்தமாக இருக்கிறது. இந்தியா முழுவதும் சமூக நீதி பேரியக்கம் பரவ வேண்டும் என்று அவர்கள் மூவரும் தங்கள் வாழ்நாள் முழுவதும் உழைத்தார்கள். அந்த உழைப்பு வீண் போகவில்லை. இந்திய வரைபடத்தின் கிழக்கும் மேற்கும் வடக்கும் தெற்கும் என பல்வேறு மாநிலங்களை சார்ந்தவர்கள் இந்த காணொலி வாயிலாக இன்றைக்கு இணைந்திருக்கிறோம். சரியாக சொல்ல வேண்டும் என்று சொன்னால் நம்மை எல்லாம் இணைத்தது சமூக நீதி என்ற கருத்தியல் தான். திராவிட இயக்கம் போட்ட விதை தமிழ்நாட்டில் மட்டுமல்ல, இந்தியா முழுவதும் முளைக்க தொடங்கி இருக்கிறது. அதன் அறுவடையைத்தான் இப்பொழுது நாம் பார்க்கிறோம். அகில இந்திய பிற்படுத்தப்பட்டோர் கூட்டமைப்பு SRA, PAGAM, BAMCEF, We the People மற்றும் லீட் இந்தியா ஆகிய அமைப்புகள் இணைந்து ஏற்பாடு செய்திருக்கக்கூடிய சமூக நீதி நிகழ்ச்சியில் பேசிய அனைவரும் அதிகப்படியான அளவுக்கு என்னை பாராட்டி பேசியிருக்கிறீர்கள். இந்த பாராட்டுக்கள், புகழுரைகள் அனைத்தும் திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தினுடைய கோடிக்கணக்கான தொண்டர்களுக்கு இதை நான் சமர்ப்பிக்க விரும்புகிறேன். தொண்டர்களின் பலத்தால், அவர்கள் நித்தமும் அளித்து வரக்கூடிய ஊக்கத்தால் தான் இந்த இளையோனால் இத்தகைய சாதனைகளுக்கு முடிந்தளவு பங்களிப்பு செலுத்த முடிகிறது. தொடர்ச்சியான போராட்டத்தின் மூலமாக சமூக நீதிக்கான வெற்றியை அடைந்துள்ளோம். இதர பிற்படுத்தப்பட்ட பிரிவினருக்கான 27 விழுக்காடு இடஒதுக்கீட்டினை அனைத்து இந்திய மருத்துவக் கல்லூரிகளிலும் பெற்றிருப்பதன் மூலமாக சமூக நீதி வரலாற்றில் மாபெரும் சாதனை நிகழ்த்தப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. இந்த சாதனை என்பது சாதாரணமாக கிடைத்துவிடவில்லை. மக்கள் மன்றத்திலும், நாடாளுமன்றத்திலும், சட்டமன்றத்திலும், நீதிமன்றத்திலும் நடத்திய போராட்டங்களின் மூலமாக இந்த சாதனையை நாம் பெற்றிருக்கிறோம். இந்த போராட்டத்தில் திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகம் மகத்தான பங்களிப்பை செய்துள்ளது என்பதை தலைநிமிர்ந்து சொல்வதை நான் பெருமையாக நினைக்கிறேன். சமூக நீதி என்பது திராவிட இயக்கம் இந்த நாட்டுக்கு கொடுத்த மிக முக்கியமான கொடையாகும். சமூக நீதி என்பது அனைத்து சமூகங்களையும் உள்ளடக்கிய வளர்ச்சியாகும். அனைத்து சமூகத்திற்கான இடஒதுக்கீட்டு 1921ஆம் ஆண்டே வழங்கியது நீதி கட்சியினுடைய ஆட்சி. இந்த இடஒதுக்கீட்டுக்கு, அதனுடைய முறைக்கு உச்சநீதிமன்றத்தால் ஆபத்து வந்தப்போ கடுமையாக போராடி 1950ஆம் ஆண்டு அரசியல் சட்ட திருத்தத்தை செய்ய வைத்தவர்கள் பெரியாரும், பேரறிஞர் அண்ணாவும், பெருந்தலைவர் காமராஜரும். பிற்படுத்தப்பட்ட மக்களுக்கு 25 விழுக்காடு இடஒதுக்கீட்ட 31 விழுக்காடாக ஆக்கியது திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகம். பட்டியல் இனத்தவர் இடஒதுக்கீட்ட 16 விழுக்காட்டிலிருந்து 18 விழுக்காடாக ஆக்கியதும் திமுக தான். இந்த 18 விழுக்காட்டில் பழங்குடியினரும் இருந்தார்கள். அவர்களுக்கு தனியாக 1 விழுக்காடு வழங்கி முழுமையாக 18 பட்டியலினத்தவருக்கு கிடைக்க வழி செஞ்சு இன்றைய 69 விழுக்காட்டை கொண்டு வந்தது திமுக. மதம் மாறிய ஆதிதிராவிட கிறிஸ்தவர்களையும் பிற்படுத்தப்பட்டோர் பட்டியலில் சேர்த்ததும் திமுக தான். மிகவும் பிற்படுத்தப்பட்ட 107 சாதியினருக்கு தனியாக 20 விழுக்காடாக பிரித்து மிக பிற்படுத்தப்பட்டோர் என பெயரிட்டு ஒதுக்கீடு வழங்கியது திமுக. அருந்ததியருக்கு 3 விழுக்காடு உள் ஒதுக்கீடு வழங்கியது திமுக. இஸ்லாமியருக்கு 3.5 விழுக்காடு உள் ஒதுக்கீடு வழங்கியது திமுக. மண்டல் ஆணையத்தின் பரிந்துரைப்படி ஒன்றிய அரசு பணிகள்ல இதர பிற்படுத்தப்பட்டோருக்கு 27 விழுக்காடு இடஒதுக்கீட்டுக்கு பிரதமர் VP சிங் மூலமாக வலியுறுத்தி அதையும் பெற்றோம். அனைத்து சாதியினரும் அர்ச்சகராகலாம் என்ற சட்டம் நிறைவேற்றியது திமுக. இதுதான் திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகம். சமூக நீதி கருத்தியலுக்கு செய்த மாபெரும் பங்களிப்பாகும். இதனுடைய தொடர்ச்சியாக 27 விழுக்காடு இடஒதுக்கீட்ட மருத்துவ படிப்புகள்ல வழங்க வலியுறுத்தி போராடினோம். இப்போ பெற்று தந்திருக்கிறோம். அகில இந்திய அளவில் இதர பிற்படுத்தப்பட்டோருக்கான இடஒதுக்கீடு வழங்க வேண்டும் என்று நம்முடைய முத்தமிழர் கலைஞர் அவர்கள் தொடர்ந்து வலியுறுத்தி வந்தார்கள். ஒன்றிய ஆட்சியாளர்களும் தொடர்ந்து எடுத்துச் சொல்லி வந்தார்கள். திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்துடைய தேர்தல் அறிக்கையில எப்போதும் இடம்பெறும் கொள்கையாக அது அமைந்திருந்தது. 2019ஆம் ஆண்டு முதல் இதற்கான முனைப்புகளை அதிகமாக எடுத்தோம். நம்முடைய கழகத்தின் நாடாளுமன்ற மேலவை உறுப்பினர் மூத்த வழக்கறிஞர் வில்சன் அவர்கள் தன்னுடைய சொந்த வழக்கை போல இதனை அவர் நடத்தினார். இன்னும் வெளிப்படையா சொல்லணும்னா அவரை வழக்கறிஞர் என்று சொல்வதை விட சமூக நீதி போராளியாகவே இதில் அவர் செயல்பட்டார். MBBS OBC இடஒதுக்கீடு குறித்த வெள்ளை அறிக்கை வெளியிடுமாறு 2019ஆம் ஆண்டு பிரதமருக்கு நான் கோரிக்கை வச்சேன். நாடாளுமன்ற மக்களவை மாநிலங்களவையில திமுக உறுப்பினர்கள் இது குறித்து கேள்வியை எழுப்பி இருக்கிறாங்க. மருத்துவம் மற்றும் பல் மருத்துவ இடங்கள்ல OBC இடஒதுக்கீடு தொடர்பாக ஒன்றிய சுகாதாரத்துறை அமைச்சர் அந்த அமைச்சரை நம்முடைய கழக MP வில்சன் அவர்கள் நேரடியாக போய் சந்திச்சு கடிதம் கொடுத்து வலியுறுத்தி இருக்கிறார். ஆனால் ஒன்றிய அரசு சரியான பதிலை சொல்லாத காரணத்தினால நான் ஒன்றிய அரசுக்கு கண்டனம் தெரிவித்தேன். இவர்களிடம் சும்மா கேட்டா கிடைக்காது என்ற காரணத்தால தான் 2020ஆம் ஆண்டு மே மாதம் உச்சநீதிமன்றத்தில் திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தின் சார்பில் வழக்கை தாக்கல் செஞ்சோம். அனைத்து கட்சி கூட்டத்தை நடத்தணும். திமுக போட்ட வழக்கை உச்சநீதிமன்றத்தில் போட சொன்னார்கள். அப்போது ஒன்றிய அரசு மனம் இறங்கி வரல. சலோனிகுமாரி வழக்கை காரணமாக காட்டினாங்க. அந்த வழக்கு முடிந்தால்தான் முடிவெடுக்க முடியும் அப்படின்னு சாக்குப்போக்கு சொன்னாங்க. திமுக போட்ட வழக்கு வேறு, சலோனிகுமாரி வழக்கு வேறு என்று உச்சநீதிமன்றம் தீர்ப்பளித்தது. இதர பிற்படுத்தப்பட்ட வகுப்பினருக்கான இடஒதுக்கீடு வழங்கியாக வேண்டும் என்று சென்னை உயர்நீதிமன்றம் தீர்ப்பளித்தது. 2021 2022ஆம் ஆண்டிலிருந்து வழங்க வேண்டும் என்று உத்தரவும் போட்டுச்சு. இதுதான் மிகப்பெரிய வெற்றியாகும். ஆனாலும் இதனை ஒன்றிய அரசு வழங்காத காரணத்தினால சென்னை உயர்நீதிமன்றத்தில் திமுக சார்பில் நீதிமன்ற அவமதிப்பு மனு தாக்கல் செய்யப்பட்டுச்சு. முறையாக செயல்படுத்துங்கள் என்று உச்சநீதிமன்றம் உத்தரவிட்டுச்சு. 26/7/2021 அன்றுதான் இந்தியாவினுடைய சொலிசிட்டர் ஜெனரல் அவர்கள் நீதிமன்ற உத்தரவுகளுக்கு இணங்குவதாக சொல்லி உறுதி அளித்திருக்கிறார். ஏதோ பாஜக அரசு தான் இதர பிற்படுத்தப்பட்ட வகுப்பினருக்கு இடஒதுக்கீட்டு உரிமையை தூக்கி கொடுத்தது போல சில பரப்புரை செஞ்சுக்கிட்டு இருக்கிறாங்க. அவளுக்கு நடந்த உண்மை எதுவும் தெரியாது. 2020ஆம் ஆண்டு மே மாதம் உச்சநீதிமன்றத்தில் திமுக வழக்கு போட்டுச்சு. 2021ஆம் ஆண்டு ஜூலை மாதம் தான் பாஜக அரசு இதனை ஒப்புக்கொண்டது. இந்த உண்மைகளை அவர்கள் மறக்கலாம், ஆனால் மறைக்க முடியாது. இது ஏதோ ஒரு வழக்கின் வெற்றி அல்ல, பிற்படுத்தப்பட்ட ஒடுக்கப்பட்ட இனத்தினுடைய வெற்றியாகும். இதோடு நம்முடைய பணி முடிந்துவிடவில்லை. சமூக நீதி என்பது சமூக சமத்துவமாகும். அது கல்வியில், வேலை வாய்ப்பில் மட்டுமல்ல, அனைத்து இடங்களிலும் உருவாக்கப்பட வேண்டும். எங்கெல்லாம் அநீதி இருக்கிறதோ அங்கெல்லாம் நீதியை நிலைநாட்ட வேண்டும் என்று உலக பொருளாதார மேத அமர்த்தியா சென் சொல்லி இருக்கிறார். அத்தகைய நீதியை உருவாக்கவே திராவிட இயக்கம் பாடுபட்டுக் கொண்டிருக்கிறது. இரத்த பேதம் இல்லை, பால் பேதம் இல்லை என்பதை திராவிட இயக்கத்தினுடைய அடிப்படை லட்சியமாகும். சமூக நீதியும் பெண்ணுரிமையும் தான் தலையாய லட்சியமாகும். இந்த மகத்தான கொள்கையை தமிழகத்தில் மட்டுமல்ல, இந்தியா முழுமைக்கும் கொண்டு சேர்க்கக்கூடிய பணியை நாங்கள் தொடங்க இருக்கிறோம். I am planning to launch an All India Federation for Social Justice soon. Leaders of depressed classes from all states, those truly concerned about social justice, would be part of it. This federation will provide prompt suggestions for all states to adhere to laws related to social justice. The percentage of backward, oppressed communities may differ with each state. However, the ideology of social justice is same. Everything for everyone will be the base of this federation. This will be a federation that work to achieve the principles of federalism. Let us meet often and uphold social justice. Thank you. நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Thank you, sir. Bharat and founder of the Samajik Chetna